Yo, what is up, y'all? So, we're about to review UFC Fight Night Charles Olivera versus Matthias Gamrot. And real quick before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you guys for, getting over 100 fucking views on last video. I didn't even think it'd be that big of a video. I really appreciate all the love and support and all that shit, man. Like, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, and even before we even get into this card too, this was a really, really good card. Awesome to see Charles Oliveira back. Can't wait to get into the fight. But if you know how these reviews go, or reviews are at least, I always start with the first fight going up to the main event. Unless you're Alex Pereira, then there's a little bit of sometimes I'll change it up, but I feel like for the most part, to keep the card interesting, I got to do the first fight and then go to the main event. So really all that I'm going to do is just give you my opinions on the fight. Not really a play-by-play unless I really feel like it, but overall it's just how I felt about the fight and the card in general. It's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought. And yeah, let's start with the first fight. Luan Lacerda versus Simon Olivera. Overall, Luan, I thought Luan did really, really well in just the grappling and always trying to set up that submission. You could really tell that he was going for the finish, especially because all his finishes end in a submission. And just, very dominant on the ground, I want to say. Dominant in the second round as well, where he was able to get a takedown. Simon was able to get a reversal in it and get a couple elbows, or I guess not in it, but he was able to get a reversal, get top guard, start landing some elbows, decent ground and pound, some decent damaging shots, like for real. Luan was able to snag an arm though, get an arm bar. Simon managed to escape, rip his arm out, and then get back into a guard. Very, very weird decision on his part. I don't understand why he did that. It really just made no sense, just kind of re-engaging with the guard, knowing that he can snag your arm like that, which is that's what Luan did. Went straight for the armbar again, this time really getting it and almost, like, I would say break. It was close, I would say, to breaking Simon's arm, but he hyperextended it pretty hard. Very good finish, very good opener for the card. Don't really, like I said, don't really have too much to say about the fight. It was a really entertaining fight. I had Simon winning. I think it was more because he missed weight by like 10 pounds, like insane. So it wasn't really because I know anything about the fighters. It was just more because this dude missed a shit ton of weight. So hey, maybe he's just more hydrated. I mean, like, holy fuck, dude. And in 2025, the weight misses have been insane, dog. Like, this is like generational. These weight misses, like, is generational. You literally have a weight miss on every single card, like every card, I feel like. So yeah, good finish, good opener. Moving on to the next fight though, with Julia Polistri. I always say Pastroli, bro. Like, it's like Pastromi or some shit. Like, I don't know, bro. I just get her name fucking mixed up. Versus Karolina Kowalski-Witzk. I don't know. I fuck her name up every single time. But I guess we just talk about Julia. Julia did really well in mixing up the strikes, hurting Carolina multiple times with body kicks, body knees, to the body for the most part. I'm pretty sure there were some hooks that hurt Carolina. Nothing too significant though. I would just say that it just kind of damaged and wobbled her back. No knockdowns. She didn't really get cut. Her eye, I think it was her right eye, that was a little bit swollen. Talking about Carolina now, she really didn't show much. I mean, she's 39 years old in the strawweight division, the smallest division in the fucking UFC. So I don't know. It's just, she should have retired. This should have been a retirement fight, and it wasn't. So, yeah, Julia, though, she did really well once again in mixing up the strikes, especially in the third round, getting that head kick, and then really just letting go, going for that TKO. And overall, I mean, it was a one-sided, dominant performance. And it was pretty entertaining. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It ended in a finish, and I think Julia could have done a lot better finishing the fight earlier in the rounds, though. I mean, Carolina literally just showed nothing, so even in the grappling, there really just wasn't any sort of dominance, like just nothing Carolina could have done. So yeah, Julia is definitely like an interesting prospect, but her gas tank's a little iffy, and her just not really going for that finish early on is just, I don't know. We'll see about it though. Entertaining fight. Moving on to the next one though, we got Lucas Rocha, my bad, versus Stuart Nicole. Getting into, talking about Stuart Nicole, man. What the fuck, dude? You come in as a favorite and this is how you perform, dog. Like, I'm guessing Stewart had a really bad weight cut in a training camp. I'm really not sure, but just very just awkward. No defense, no head movement, barely like it just any like knowledge. Like genuinely, when it came to like this fight, he just like did not show up at all. And just yeah, I have nothing good to say about his performance. It didn't look good. His punches were just sluggish. His takedowns were just lazy. Just not a good performance overall, man. Lucas Rocha, though, I'm going to say this much. While I thought he could have finished this fight, I thought, this was still a very good performance by him. Doing well with the knees. There was a moment in the fight where he caught Nickel in the third round with a lead hook, hurt him really bad. Hurt Nickel pretty much the whole fight, pretty much like the Carolina fight. I mean, it was just one sided. Could have ended in a finish, but this fight just didn't. Rocha, I don't know if this was his debut, but he did very well in my opinion. New flyweight prospect that I think people should probably look out for. And a little rant that I just kind of want to talk about, and the only reason I really want to talk about this is just because, Rocha, like the thing is that like what I'm trying to get at with this is that I don't like the fact that if you're from Charles Oliveira's gym, and it's mostly these Brazilian guys because they look up to Charles, of course, but they dye their hair blonde, and it's because they follow Oliveira, and there's nothing against that. It's just more of I wish these guys would make a character, a name for themselves instead of just um kind of just like sticking to the blonde hair and stuff. I just think that's Oliveira stuff. Not that it's like corny. I get it. They're all from the same gym. But I just think, make a name for yourself, dude, especially with the gym you're coming from. There's a huge talent in Charles Oliveira, so we need to see a lot more coming out of there because the only thing that's really coming out of Shoot a Box is Ian Gary, which I don't even think that's where he originally trained from. And most of these dudes, in my opinion, I don't even think this is where they all originally trained from, but you know what I'm saying? It's like their first big gym that they get to get experience and then put in the UFC. Gary wasn't really like that, but still, interesting fight. Moving on to, interest in performance, interest in performance from Rocha and Stewart. Very interesting from Stewart. But hey, moving on to the next fight though, we got Bia Mesquita versus Irina Aliskeva. Um, I have nothing really good to say about Irina besides maybe like the beginning of the first round. She kind of just brought it. She took a shit ton of damage in that first round, and then in the second, coming out there and just trying to, go toe to toe with Bia. I respect it, but holy fuck, dude, Bia, this bitch is. I'm gonna keep it real. We might have a new champion on the horizon, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Just insane jujitsu, insane 12-6 elbows, insane technique. The way she could just get a takedown, instantly go to the full mount, and then just get to work, just insane. Did it in the first round, just fucking destroyed Irina, just dismantled her completely on the ground. Did it again in the second round. This time she was able to get a rear naked choke, get the full mount. Irina turns over, gives her back up. Bia exposes that so hard, sinks in one of the just nastiest rear naked chokes I've ever seen. Irina taps, fight's over. Before that, in the first round, Irina had her hand wrapped around her neck. Bia had like her arm, controlling her wrist, and Bia's landing 12-6 elbows. It was just disgusting. It was just disgusting. Seriously, what a performance. Especially coming out of the bantamweight division, such an underwhelming division. And it's just really dope to see someone like this just fucking. I mean, of course, it's against somebody who's 5-4, but it's like that's what you do to somebody that has a record of 5-4. So yeah, really dominant performance by Bia. Moving on to the next fight, though. Oh my fucking god, Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. This fight fucking sucked. This fight sucked. In the first round, Vitor Petrino he managed to get a knockdown, and then in the third round, Vitor Petrino knocked the shit out of Thomas Peterson with a uppercut. Left hook straight to the jaw, instantly fucking knocking out Thomas Peterson. One of the nastiest KOs of this year for sure. I mean, Thomas Peterson legitimately folded. It was fucking disgusting, bro. But still, shit ass fight. Hashtag demolish the fucking heavyweight division. Not a good fight at all. If Petrino didn't get that KO, it would have been the worst fight on the card. But don't worry, we're going to be getting to some other fights that fucking sucked, at least in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, Thomas Peterson, it's really crazy that he went 0-8 for being a college wrestler. If I'm right, I'm pretty sure he's a college wrestler. And Vitor Petrino even landing his own takedowns. I had Thomas Peterson winning this fight, and I shouldn't have at all. I mean, it's only because I'm not the biggest fan of Vitor Petrino. I just don't think he's that good. But yeah, Thomas Peterson ain't that good either. So, it's crazy because it's like Vitor Petrino was shit in light heavyweight, and if anything, him going to heavyweight has just made him shittier, but in a better way. Like, because that's what heavyweight kind of is. It's just a shit division where shit flops everywhere. Petrino called out Tybura. I think he might win that fight. I know that's probably crazy to say, but I think Tybura is probably like fading away maybe. I don't know. And he also is just not good on the feet. So, and Petrino, I don't know. I don't fucking know. This man's got plot armor and heavyweight. So, moving on to the next fight, though, we have Jafel Thilo versus Clayton Carpenter. This fight ended really, really, like, not quick, but this fight, like, the pace was just very insane, especially with Thilo. He managed to get a straight, which I would say hurt Clayton, which Clayton did answer back, though. I don't remember what it was. With Philo being hurt, he goes up against the cage. Clayton starts to, like, cage clinch. And Philo actually, what was really cool was, like, he manages to get a takedown as I think it was an inside trip, if I'm right. Get Clayton's back. Clayton manages to reverse, get like a top guard. It was more of like a top half guard, where Philo tries to go for a straight arm lock. Doesn't get it. I mean, it wasn't really a straight arm lock. It was more of a Kimura, my bad. And Clayton, kind of realizes that, so he kind of just lets Philo he kind of just gives his arm to Philo for the Kimura. Philo reverses position, gets kind of like a scissor choke on Clayton with this Kimura. Very nasty. Clayton taps, and that was pretty much the whole fight. I mean, I guess there was a couple exchanges on the feet, but really it was just a very much just very dominant submission and dominant grapple performance by Philo. And I had Clayton winning this fight only because I knew him from like his last fight. I don't remember who he fought. I'm pretty sure he was on 312 though, if I'm right. And yeah, I mean, good performance. So crazy how many fucking submissions we've had on this card once again. And I'm pretty sure the next fight, I may be wrong though, we could be getting into another submission. But yeah, moving on to the next fight though. Oh hell no, I'm fucking wrong, because after this, we're moving on to the main card. This was a really good performance. Whoa, hold on, my bad. Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. This was a really good performance by Michael Aswell. I mean, I have really nothing to say about Lucas Almeida. He kind of reminds me of the dude from the China card that got knocked out with the overhand. I kind of forgot his name, I'm not going to lie, but that dude, where it was just kind of like once Michael was able to get his timing or his landing down, it was pretty much GG's for Almeida. Michael was able to get a 1-2 and just basically double it up every single time. Then starts going with a 3-2, which I said before the fight, like not before, but like when the fight just started, I was like, oh yeah, this fight's ending in a knockout without a doubt. I thought Almeida could get a high kick knockout, and I thought Michael could get a left hook knockout, and I was almost right. I mean, he did get a 3-2, knocking down Almeida, which he did twice in the fight. I don't remember that, but I think I do, because he hit him with a 3-2. If it wasn't, it was a 1-2, knocked him back, he got up, and then Michael Aswell hit him with a 3-2, dropping him really bad. Jason Herzog just doesn't stop the fight for whatever fucking reason. Michael Aswell gets like a top mount. I mean, it wasn't even like a mount. I mean, Almeida's just kind of sitting against the fence, and Michael's just kind of like sitting in his lap and just starts landing ground and pound shots. Very nasty. Herzog doesn't get involved until Aswell just starts throwing elbows. Very clean. And very just nasty elbows. I mean, there were only two, but still, Almeida he's out, and I don't understand. It was not super late, but still, I mean, just, if there was a lot of damage coming out of this fight, and Aswell did that, I mean, it would be a questionable stoppage, but it ended early, so really good finish by Aswell. Shout out Torres from the Contender Series. I know, if I'm right, his name is Justin Torres, if I'm right, or Justice, I don't remember, but he was on the Contender Series. I think it was like week 7. where he lost to featherweight Ferguson, but still, it's really cool. Him as well coming out of Joshua Van's gym, really fucking dope. Aswell has a new fan because I ain't gonna lie, if you train with Joshua Van, then shit, I'm a fan of you, man, because I'm about that scrapping shit, and Aswell brought that, so amazing performance. Moving on to the main card, which before we move on to the main card, shout out my boy Jose Aldo. Insane that he got to, lay his gloves down again, and this time do it in front of his home crowd, in front of his country, just all that shit, really cool. Also for the UFC, but they don't even give Stipe a fucking highlight reel when he retires. So, really good, memorial. I don't even think that's the word you want to use. I don't even know, but really cool just to see Jose Aldo retire again in front of Brazil with his wife and daughter. Just moments like that, man. Moments like that, it makes you a fan of the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So what a legend. And I hope his career just, keeps rising. I know he's not fighting anymore, but still as a star, as a legend, I hope it keeps going up from here. But anyways, moving on to the next fight, we have Ricardo Ramos versus Khan Ofly. Nothing really happened in this fight. I mean, it was just more of a grapple fight where Ricardo Ramos tried to go for a submission. If I'm right, it was at first a leg lock, then changed from that to I don't really remember, but I remember it being a choke, and Khan did not like it at all, where Khan was able to get out. If I'm right, I think it was a guillotine, but I'm not sure. I really don't remember. I do apologize for that, but Khan manages to get out, get Ramos's back, goes for an RNC. He doesn't get it, but it's more of like a crank, or more of just like an uncomfortable grip to get on Ramos, because Ramos did look very uncomfortable. Khan was, you could tell he's pissed. This short little shit was pissed and looking for a finish, which he got. He was able to get Ramos's back. Ramos was able to stand up, but Khan still had his back, body triangle in, and he gets the standing rear naked choke, and Ramos taps out. I mean, it was a really nasty rear naked choke, and I just think it's insane that Brazil, they were booing this performance. I think it was a really good performance. Of course, it's their boy, but I don't even know who Ricardo Ramos is. I may be a casual, but fuck it, bro. I do not care. Khan had a really, really good finish, and I just think there should have been a lot of respect that was not given at all. Brazil did not give that at all to Ofly. So yeah. Moving on to the next fight, though, we have Jonathan Diniz versus Mario Pinto. I have really nothing to say about Diniz. He is just not a good fighter. He came in as a favorite, which is fucking crazy, because Mario Pinto, in my opinion, is without a doubt one of the most underrated fucking fighters, and is also a huge ass fucking troll, bro. To say that he doesn't speak English really good in his promo, and then instantly switching to a London accent and shouting out his gym and talking about how he's going to take over the heavyweight division, which I'm here for. After this performance, I'm a big fan of Pinto. Yes, it wasn't the most entertaining, but the way he dismantled Diniz, you could tell that he definitely watched the Tybura, the film, against Diniz, saw where the weakness was with Diniz, especially in the ground game, and just exposed that, man. I mean, Pinto is a smart fucking fighter. His, amazing KO over Austin Lane. I mean, it just, like I said, it's heavyweight. It's not a great, super underwhelming division, but, at the same time, you can still have some stars, man, for sure, like Aspinall. Shit, I mean, that's probably it, but still, you got Pinto, who's really on the rise. Hokick, who just came off his really good Contender Series, performance. You got Titties. I really hate to say that, but I don't remember his fucking name. I think it was something Greenland, if I'm right. Really, just heavyweight. The future is bright, but not too bright. And I think with Pinto, it's a little bit more brighter, though. It's a little bit bright for the heavyweight division. So, anyways, getting to this fucking fight, though, Pinto, he just does really good with the takedowns, just keeping control, getting to a crucifix in the first round, landing really solid elbows like in that Tybura fight, and just really just being dominant throughout the whole fight in the ground, especially in the second round where he manages to toss Diniz. starts landing, gets into a full mount, starts landing some shots, elbows, cutting Denise. Denise is trying to keep a grip to, keep space, or I guess not really keep space, but keep away from the space so Pinto can't really land strikes as cleanly. Pinto breaks the grips though and just starts landing ground and pound shots, ending the fucking fight. I mean, really all that happened was just, grappling. That's it. Denise didn't really do anything, especially when it came to the feet. And he's just really not that good. Nothing against the guy, but yeah, the fact he came in as a favorite, and Pinto didn't even, I mean, he came in as a 105, so not a crazy underdog, but still, I mean, should have been a pick 'em. And like I said, Pinto shot a dope ass promo. A lot of respect for the dude now, and what a good fucking performance by him. So, moving on to the next fight, though. Ah, man, this is where I'm probably going to get a lot of hate. Like, seriously, this is probably where I'm just, like, most people aren't going to agree with me, or, this fight sucked. Yeah, I'm just going to say it as real as I can fucking say it. This fight fucking sucked, dude. The first round was exactly what I wanted. Just a brawl, two dudes fucking just going at it with their goddamn fist. Luque landing his lead left hook. Even that overhand, it was like a counter overhand every now and then on Alvarez. Joel Alvarez starting early with the jab, getting through, already damaging Luque, having that really damaging check left hook, I think it was, or counter left hook. I don't really remember, but that caused Luque to say it was an eye poke, and then that whole situation where the ref was calling in the doctor where it was a legal strike. Very, very fucking weird. And then obviously you have Bisping and fucking John Gooden or whatever just arguing about Bisping saying the strike was legal and John Gooden saying the strike was legal. Listen, man, I'm just going to say this much. Another rant that I got to get into. I hate the commentary, man. Dude, the fact that I cannot put my phone down or anything that I'm watching UFC on and just do something while listening to the UFC is a problem. I should be hearing play by play what the fuck is happening. And I'm not saying all the time, but when something significant happens, bro, and just when you have two dudes on the commentating fucking booth that do not like each other, because they don't, and it's mainly because they don't like Bisping. It's nothing against Bisping, but he's kind of a douchebag, not really all that intelligent. He was a champion. It's just when it comes to his commentating, I'm not the biggest fucking fan of. I just think he tries to be very dominant when you have someone like Gooden who isn't really experienced either, and he's just kind of there as the John Anik in my opinion. And just asking Bisping questions. And then even with what do we have, 320, right? Like you have 320 with like DC that's just like, oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, Joe Rogan, man. Don't you start talking about that. And you got Joe Rogan who's like, wow. Oh my God. Wow. And then John Anik, who, prime flavor, the best flavor in the whole world, 0 calories, brought to you by Logan Paul, or whatever the fuck. Like, I just hate that shit, dude. I genuinely hate that shit. I see on Twitter that Laura Senko is going to be on 321, and people are like hating on her and stuff. And I'm going to keep it real. Laura Senko, Paul Felder, and I mean, I gotta keep it real. I gotta have Joe or John in that mix. I mean, come on, man. Like, seriously, they're iconic. Joe, he's an icon. I may shit on him, but once again, an icon. But still, though, at least when it comes to Senko and Felder, those are the only two like real commentators where it's like I actually feel like they do speak a lot of knowledge and just not bullshit on the mic. Like, seriously, nothing against the commentary booth, but oh man, I mean, God, dude, just not a good night for them at all. That's really it. Just not a good fucking night at all. But going back into this fight, you had the weird fucking moment with the eye poke and stuff, and then Alvarez, he pretty much gets comfortable with his striking, starts landing flying knees, start landing, not landing, but he starts going for like spinning back fist, spinning wheel kick. I mean, you could just tell that he's getting comfortable in the striking. Not much really happened after they kind of got comfortable. I mean, I would say Joel definitely took that round because of the damage. The second round starts and it is just fucking awful. Like it is just awful. Luque just, if I'm right, he goes for a takedown. He turtles up like Anthony Smith. Very, very weird. And Joel Alvarez, the one thing that I just don't understand is that he accepts that position. He accepts the turtle up position, but yet Luque is really smart, and not smart, but he's able to change positions, not really take as much damage in that second round. Even though Joel Alvarez, he landed a lot of strikes. Don't get me wrong, he landed a lot of strikes. But just not enough to the point that people were calling 10-8. 10-8 in the second round. Just one just gonna have to agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like, just no way was that a 10-8 round. Alvarez didn't do anything. He did have a flying knee in the striking exchanges. There was like a moment, I think, where he landed something else. I don't even really remember. And just overall, man, in the second round, it was just not a good fucking round, bro. Like, that's it. It was not it. Joel definitely took it. He definitely took it, but 10-8? Like, are we just throwing 10-8s like it's fucking nothing, bro? Like, seriously. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Fight ends on the ground, if I'm right. I could be wrong, though. And then, you get into the third round where Vicente does the same thing, turtles up. This time he gets caught up in an inverted triangle, and Joel Alvarez just fucking accepts it. Like, it's in the second and third round where I don't understand Joel Alvarez's fucking IQ. Yes, you can blame it on Vicente Luque for not trying to get out or not trying to, like, escape. I don't fucking know, but Joel Alvarez, I'm going to blame you too, because you had every chance to stand the fight up and actually finish this fight. I legitimately thought Joel Alvarez could knock out Vicente Luque, and I had Luque winning this fight. Now, just before, we get into the other fights and stuff, my predictions are not serious. Do not fucking listen to my predictions. I just fucking pick most of the time. If I know the fighter, then I just fucking pick, because whatever. But most of the time when I see a fighter and it's, two fighters, I'm just going to pick the one that I think's going to win. It ain't no depth. It ain't because I'm watching their other fucking fights. These reviews are just my opinion and just how I feel about the card once again. And, even in my opinion on Joel Alvarez is that I think he is just an overrated fucking fighter, especially in the welterweight division. Now, I think he's going to get starched by fucking Jeff Neal. Hell, I would even say Colby Covington, but I'm kind of like being a little sarcastic saying that. But just not a good performance, man. Like, seriously. Just not. That's it. Very underwhelming fight. Very disappointed in this fight because, in my opinion, this was like Yuri Roundtree levels. Like, seriously, this was where the damage could be fucking damaged, So, didn't happen, though. Very disappointed in this fight, and that's why I think it sucked. And I didn't think the scorecard should be 30. I thought they should be 30-27. 30-26 is a little extensive because there ain't no 10-8s for fucking Alvarez. So, moving on to the next fight, though. We got our co-main, Davison Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. Another underwhelming shit fucking card that was a robbery. And I'll say that. It was a split decision, but rewatching the fight, it was a fucking robbery. Figueiredo didn't do shit. The only round that he took was the first round because he had that right hook that hurt Montel Jackson and the takedown. Of course, you had the second round where he had that submission attempt, almost going for that arm triangle. Didn't get it, though. Didn't have nearly as much output as Montel. And just, Figueiredo, the one thing I can't say is that he looked healthy going into this fight. He actually looked a lot healthier, but I don't even know, man. I don't really have much to say about Figueiredo, though, because, he's a top 6 contender in the fucking bantamweight division. So it's like there's not much to like say about his performance. He got the job done, so that's all I can really say. It's more towards Montel Jackson where, he just, I don't know if it was the takedown threat. I don't know if it was Figgy's power, but Montel really could have win this fight. Like, seriously, he could have won this fight. He could have won this fight by a knockout, honestly, if I really want to say. But he didn't. He did nothing in the fight at all. If anything, I mean, of course I say that he won the second and third round, but it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be going to decisions with fucking nothing against Figueiredo, but this dude Figueiredo has wasted his career with cans in the bantamweight division. His bantamweight career, he has wasted it with cans. Just a shell of himself, an old guy, fragile. And I thought Montel Jackson could do something with that, especially with him being the bigger fucking bantamweight. And he just didn't show anything. And I guess I should have known from his last performance. I had him winning this fight, though, because, he had that KO over Blackshear. Of course, that doesn't matter, but it was a good KO. And, it's always good to see contenders in the fucking rankings. I know he's number 15, but, as a top contender. Didn't happen, though. Just very disappointing. That's it. Very, very disappointing performance. So now we move on to the main event. Charles Olivera versus Matias Gamrot. Holy fuck, man. Olivera, listen, Olivera is him. Like, I'm just going to say it. He's 35 years old, but this man, Olivera, has only lost to the current number one contender, the current lightweight champion, and the last lightweight champion. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. Olivera, because people kind of want to talk about how Ilya's beating up old dudes and stuff. Olivera is still in his prime. As crazy as that may seem, especially against someone like Gamrot, but Gamrot, being in the lightweight division, especially if I'm right, he was in that top five for a moment. You know, Olivera just he made this shit look easy, especially when it came to the ground. There were moments on the feet where Gamrot looked way better, and I thought Gamrot, honestly, if this went to a decision, he could probably end up hurting Olivera. If Chandler can do it, Gamrot can do it. There was a moment where, Olivera landed a 1-1-2 really nice, tried to go back in with another 1-1-2. Gamrot counters with a right hook, rocks Olivera's head back. It looked like a really good shot. But then Gamrot, he decides to go for a takedown, which Olivera, he does accept, because that's his game, and he wanted to show that against Gamrot, and he did. Gamrot gets the single leg. Olivera manages to get like a guillotine. I think it's because he wants to adjust his guard, which he does, and he's able to get an omoplata on Gamrot. He holds it for a while. It's a pretty nasty omoplata, especially with him hooking the leg, keeping that control. But Gamrot does very well in stacking. Gamrot manages to get out, but just like the first fight that we were talking about with the other Olivera dude, Gamrot decides to just fucking re-engage in the guard again, going back into a fucking omoplata. This time, Olivera's managed to get the back this time. Gamrot's in a turtle position, but Olivera's more in a sprawling position, but, he does get the back. But before that, he starts talking to like Mark Goddard in his corner. He just starts like, I don't know. So supposedly it was something about a glove grab. Didn't really see it. I don't know why Charles was so fucking like caught up with it. I mean, he was kicking ass, So he's able to get Gamrot's back though, take him to the ground. Take him to the ground. I think Gamrot was able to get up, but Olivera had a standing, it had the standing back take, triangle, body triangle locked in, gets Gamrot to the back, or gets Gamrot back to the mat. Gamrot pretty much just accepts it. Pretty dumb on his part. The round ends with Olivera on Gamrot's back, if I'm right, and then the second round starts where Gamrot starts really letting that that right hook land. It starts to land a lot more, not really super significant, but still just enough to let Olivera know. Gamrot does well keeping the distance. You can tell that he does not want to get back into the grappling with Olivera. But the one thing that I can really give a lot of props to Olivera is that he just keeps coming, man. His pressure is insane. The way he just kept storming into this fight, every single time getting hit, he just kept coming. He didn't give a fuck. And it really showed. Gamrot starts running, not really running, but starts spacing himself out, distancing himself from Olivera. Olivera tries for a takedown. He grabs a single leg, manages to pick up Gamrot, put him to the ground, get his back, lock up the RNC choke. You could see it. He had it because Olivera had the arm already under the neck, and then all he needed to do was lock it up, get the back, which he did with a body triangle as well locked in, and just Gamrot taps out. What a fucking performance, man. Olivera loses his mind, goes out of the cage, just starts hugging a fucking bunch of people. I think it was his family and stuff, grabs his son, or his daughter, just his baby. Really crazy to see. Even a moment where he grabs his baby like Simba and just fucking like shows his baby to the crowd. Like, just inspirational shit, man. Shout out to Bronx. And then gets on the mic, calls out Max Holloway for for a BMF title fight. I was about to say bantamweight, but what a call out, what a fucking fight if that actually happens, especially for BMF, and what a performance, and what a fucking card, man. Like, seriously, just what a way to end the night with a finish, especially a submission by Charles Olivera, just for him to prove that he is still one of the greatest grapplers and one of the greatest fighters of all time, especially for our generation. Just insane performance by him, and yeah, just a lot of respect. This card was really, really good. A lot of finishes. There were moments that kind of stunk, but I just think overall, really good finishes, very good dominant performances by most Brazilians on this card, and the ones that weren't Brazilian just had good performances as well, kind of. But Overall, I give this card an 8, and I'm just going to do a quick review of the whole card and how I felt about it. So let's do it. Charles Olivera versus Matias Gamrot. Charles Olivera is back. Amazing RNC choke. Him versus Holloway will be a fucking phenomenal fight, which I think Holloway will end up winning, but hey, you never know. Figueiredo versus Jackson, very underwhelming co-main. Figueiredo's just old. It's good to see him win, but I don't see him progressing any farther in his career, where Montel Jackson having this as a win is very huge. Like Figueiredo under his belt as a win, huge win. Didn't perform at all to prove that, very underwhelming. Luque versus Alvarez, very underwhelming. Amazing first round, but it was just downhill from there. Alvarez, I think he could come back with a really good fight, but I think he loses to anyone ranked in the welterweight division. Even if that's crazy to say, I don't care. I think the dude's overrated. So Diniz versus Pinto, really good performance by Pinto, exposed Diniz on the ground. Really hope he gets a ranked opponent after this and just solid fucking KO or TKO. Ramos versus Offley, really good standing rear naked choke. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that fight. Almeida as well, solid fucking knockout. Amazing to see one of Joshua Van's boys get a win. Good pressure, just like I said, really, really good knockout. Philo versus Carpenter, disgusting Kimura, amazing ability to reverse it and just lock up that Kimura, like for real. Don't know if Clayton can come back, but a lot of flyweight fights on this card too, which is really cool to see. I feel like we never really see flyweight fights as much. You're probably only going to get like one flyweight fight per card, and we got like 3 or 4. So really cool to see that. Petrino versus Peterson, horrible fucking fight except for the third round, which that's the only round that if you want to watch this fight, watch the third round. Amazing KO. KO of the year. I mean, it could be a contender, really, really good, but the rest of the fight was fucking dog shit. Mosqueda versus Aliskiva. Really good dominant performance by Bia. Amazing RNC choke and amazing ability to land those 12-6 elbows. Just really brutal, and I think she's going to be a really scary prospect in the bantamweight division. Rocha versus Nicole. Nicole didn't show shit, so Rocha completely had a masterclass. Really good performance by him and a new prospect in the flyweight division, so we'll see what's up with him. Polistri versus Carolina, just a very good one-sided fight. Carolina should have retired, and that's about it. Good KO. And the last fight, Luan versus Olivera, very good armbar, very just awesome opener. And yeah, that's the rest of the rest of this fucking review. Jesus. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought. When this video comes out, it's going to be earlier because I'm filming this really late at night. So yeah, I'm really sorry that it took me a bit, because usually I always try to do my reviews just right on the fucking time, like an hour or 2 after it happened. But yeah, this one just a lot of reshoots and just being stressed out, man. I'm just gonna keep it real that not everything's gonna be perfect in life, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of just have to go with it. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I gotta say. I hope you guys have a really good night. Let me know what you guys thought about this card. Once again, I thought it was an 8. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Have a good night, and I'll see you.